Vamos, carajo, brothers, this is your boy JTLive, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings, the series. Of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it, and boy, is there a lot to talk about, and not a lot of it good, to be honest. There are a lot of scary rumours coming out. Obviously, Raphinha could be going to Chelsea. Maybe, just maybe, there is a slight glimmer of hope as he could potentially be elsewhere, and maybe abroad, although it does look very unlikely at this current moment in time. Big news about who we could be replacing him with, and more likely who we could not be replacing him with. Bad news to talk about as well there. But before we do get into all of that, recent reports have shown that 68% of you are not subscribed. So if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest content surrounding the channel, then hit that subscribe button down below and tick the notification bell so you don't miss another video. But let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the meat of the action. Oh, and speaking first of all of replacements, we could be replacing Raphinha with. Leeds United are still in the mix for Adama Traore, and it is apparently definitely still alive according to transfer insider Dean Jones. We've already been lured by Brendan Aronson, Rasmus Christensen and Mark Roker. However, can Adama Traore prove enough of a lure to make Victor Orta go in for him? Again, although we are apparently still interested in him, there isn't enough tangible evidence to show that we've made any serious moves for him. So right now, it does just seem like he's still in the equation, and for me, it feels like a bit of backup syndrome. If we can't get Gakpo, if we can't get someone else, we might go in for Adama Traore. However, another guy that has been linked with replacing Raphinha, and another guy that Leeds fans probably weren't too keen on, it is Moses Simon. And apparently Leeds will have to move very quickly if we are to get him, with a transfer fee allegedly already agreed. Leeds United are in competition with Ligue 1 side Nice to side Nantes forward Moses Simon, according to a report in France. Leeds are chasing a number of reinforcements this summer, with Raphinha and Calvin Phillips set to leave Ellen Road. Raphinha is closing in on a move to Chelsea and potentially another unnamed club, while Man City are close to wrapping up a deal for Calvin Phillips. City have already agreed a fee for 42 million and 65. Apparently Chelsea and Leeds agreed on for Raphinha. So that gives us about 107 million pounds, probably with other fees that we'll have to count into it, probably around 100 million pounds of disposable income to throw at the situation. Is Moses Simon one guy we could be getting to help rectify Leeds' issues in that position? The winger scored 6 goals, grabbed 8 assists from 30 Ligue 1 games last season, and he looks like a good option to replace Raphinha. However, he is attracting interest from a lot of clubs, and apparently Nice have agreed a deal with him. And it's not even just Nice who have agreed the deal, because apparently Newcastle are even sat on the sidelines waiting to hijack that, apparently willing to pay 17 million pounds and offer 100,000 pounds a week for Simon this summer. I'm sorry, we cannot compete with that. That would absolutely destroy our wage structure. And 100k for Moses Simon? That's a bit mad, if you ask me. That's looking a little bit mad. I'm not sure where they're getting these figures, the stats and figures from, but that is bloody crazy. And speaking of crazy, you must be crazy to tell me that this man could not rectify our midfield issues, and that is, of course, this big boy Mohamed Kamara. And Ryan Taylor has come out last night dropping a big Ryan Taylor update, a big Mohamed Kamara update. The recent post on Twitter, the Daily Express journalist revealed that following a number of reports linking Orta with a move for the RB Salzburg midfielder, the Austrian side have now excused the 22-year-old from their pre-season training camp in order to allow the Mali international to resolve his future. He goes on to claim that the Whites have been in direct contact with the midfielder's representatives regarding a potential summer switch, with Salzburg believed to be demanding a figure in the region of 25 million pounds in order to part with the former FC CODE star this summer. However, this is where things get a little bit interesting and not really in a good positive way for Leeds United. And according to a report later on that day, Leeds are now set to miss out on the £25 million target as other Premier League clubs move in. That is right, according to the Athletic, Leeds are set to miss out on Mohamed Kamara as Premier League rivals Brighton close in. Obviously, when he was messaging those Leeds fans about potentially moving over to Elland Road, he was also messaging Brighton fans, toying with them. They are the other club in there, and I don't know whether it's that they've offered him more game time, maybe they've offered him more wages, which I find hard to agree with. Maybe they've just shown clear intent towards him, whereas Leeds are potentially looking at Tyler Adams and looking at Kamara as a bit of a backup option. And he said, you know what, they're looking at me as their first option, so maybe I'll prefer a move over there. But it does look like they have pulled ahead of us and that he is potentially favouring a switch over to the Seagulls. It comes shortly after the £25 million international suddenly left pre-season with RB Salzburg, which fueled talk of a move to the Premier League. However, it does seem like Graham Potter is the guy who has got the nod over Marsh on this one. It means unless if there's a late shock, Leeds will now have to look elsewhere for a Calvin Phillips replacement who is capable of providing some steel in the midfield alongside Mark Roca, which for me means we have completely shot ourselves in the foot here with this whole Calvin Phillips situation. And if we don't make some sort of headway with RB Leipzig, now manage to get Tyler Adams, we are screwed, because these are the two best replacements, if you ask me. These are two of the only players that we've been linked with in that position that actually really replace the dynamism, the energy, the robustness that we get with a player like Calvin Phillips. And I think this could be a big miss if we aren't able to get Tyler Adams under the belt of Jesse Marsh and through the door at Elland Road. And unfortunately, it does look like Leeds are an hour late and $1 short. Again, to quote the big man himself, Chael Sonnen. And whilst Chael Sonnen is the man with all the charm to cause all the harm, Raphinha is the guy with all the sauce to unleash on defenders all that force. Leeds United star Raphinha has come close to agreeing a 5-year Chelsea contract after a £5.1 million offer has been made. Raphinha is apparently close to agreeing personal terms with Chelsea, with the Leeds United wingers camp seeking a 5-year contract with an extra year's option, according to Gianluigi Longari. Writing via his personal Twitter account on 29th of June, the Sport Italia journalist made it clear that the deal isn't completely finalised and suggested that Barcelona could even still be in the race for the £25 million international. This is where things get interesting. The tweet in question is obviously that Raphinha to Chelsea agreement is close, but also with the players' camp being after that 5-year plus 1-year agreement. Not 100% done. That is a big contract. That is a big statement from Chelsea to slap that much money and that much length of a contract down. I mean, we were talking earlier and I was hearing people saying that he's basically looking at Chelsea even as a stepping stone. I believe it was Lewis that was saying that. However, if he wants a 6-year contract, maybe he's not. Maybe he's looking for some security, and maybe he sees his next move as his big one that he is going to bank his career on. And that could be pretty heartbreaking if you are a Leeds fan, finding out that he could be banking his career over at Chelsea. However, it isn't done with Barcelona, as they've just said here, because whilst the fee may have been agreed between the two clubs, one thing that definitely wasn't agreed was personal terms. It was very clear through all of Fabrizio Romano's tweets and anything that was happening that Leeds and Chelsea may have agreed terms, but the personal terms were not secured. And it does seem like Raphinha may still have his heart set on a move to Barcelona. And it was interesting, actually, Deco has been spotted recently leaving the camp now, or rather spotted in Barcelona, apparently in talks with the club president, apparently in talks over a move over to the Catalan Giants. Apparently it is still on. However, he is also rumoured to be over in London tomorrow to speak with Chelsea representatives. So whether he gets that deal hammered out, whether Barcelona come out of nowhere and throw a €65 million Hail Mary at the situation, it is yet to be discovered. However, it would certainly put a smile on my face if Barcelona were to do that, that's for sure. I mean, we'd be losing Raphinha either way, but the fact he'd be going to a foreign club, that would just make things a little bit more palatable for me and probably a lot of fans out there. Probably keep the romance of the situation still alive. However, they are going to have to come in quick and with a big, fat, steaming bid. Now, who else could Leeds United look to bring in that wing position? According to the journalist known as Dean Jones, Noah Lang is still not going anywhere. The talks of Noah Lang isn't going anywhere, and maybe if he is going to go anywhere, it could still be Leeds United. Ever since we have been linked with Cody Gakpo, it does seem like the talk of Noah Lang has completely gone by the wayside. People have forgotten about him. People have completely forgot about the fact that we're interested in him. People have forgot about the fact that he is a top source demon, and that he could certainly prove very fruitful for Leeds United. However, he's still not out of the woodwork yet, and he would actually be a little bit cheaper than someone like Cody Gakpo. Could you imagine them playing together? That would be something sensational, wouldn't it? Having made 48 appearances for the Belgian side last season, he scored 9 goals and got 15 assists. As we all know, 24 goal contributions, 48 games, a goal contribution every 2 games. Not too shabby, Alonso. However, will it happen? Will it not happen? It's probably pushed so late on now, after we have been interested in him for so long, that I will probably say I'm edging on the side that it's not going to happen. I was a little bit more confident about it a couple of weeks ago. However, now I don't know, and especially when in the same report he's saying it's not just the Dutch winger, but Ryan Kent are also possible options for Jesse Marsch, and I really don't think Ryan Kent is a possibility at all right now. It's starting to get me to question this whole move and the efficacy behind it. However, it could still happen, and it's certainly a move that would get my lips going, or rather my lips watering, my mouth drooling, but unfortunately I don't see it happening right here, right now. However, another winger, boy, this is a day of wingers, isn't it, that we could potentially go for and would definitely be more attainable than a lot of other wingers, is Hamad Traore, who is likely to be available for Leeds United for a fraction of the Raphinha fee. Well, I'd certainly hope so. I'd certainly hope he's nowhere near £65 million, but apparently the Sassuolo attacker Hamad Traore would likely be available for less than half of what Leeds are expected to get for Raphinha. So they're probably talking around 25-30 million euro kind of situations for him. Despite Traore having a powerful shot on him, according to Scouted Football, and the ability to turn defense into attack within a moment, he may not be the player Jesse Marsch would want. They need someone who excels at playing on the right wing and can grab goals and turn the game in a blink of the eye. A direct runner with great close control and the ability to beat players for dead is what they need currently. Traore may be technically good enough on paper, but he is not a ruthless goal-scoring machine like the likes of Noah Lang or Cody Gakpo are, and it does seem like they do possess a little bit more quality. There were also stories circulating the other day about Hamad Traore apparently agreeing a deal with AC Milan. That does seem to have gone a little bit quiet now. I think AC Milan are basically just waiting to see who Leeds go for next, and then they're going to try and jump in and completely screw that one over. Maybe Leeds are playing a little bit of 4D chess with them. I'm not so sure, but it does look like, again, Hamad Traore, he may be attainable, but I'm not sure he's a player Leeds United want. And speaking of a player that is probably not attainable, Charles de Ketelaere has teased people by posting on Instagram showing that he is at Wimbledon. That is right, Charles de Ketelaere is at Wimbledon. He is in England and he's potentially looking for a move. We were talking about the potential struggles with getting his girlfriend some dentistry schooling, and it's funny, someone actually commented, I don't know this to be true, maybe you guys know a little bit more. Apparently the only dentistry schooling in the country is at Leeds University. I don't know that. I'm just making an assumption off of what I've been told. I'm not saying that's a fact. However, if that is a fact, that could be a big draw to cause him to come over here. Is he in the capital to talk with Victor Orta? Is he over in England to make a move for Leeds United? Or is he trying to move to another Premier League club who are potentially interested in him? I've heard West Ham are apparently lurking around. I've heard there's even rumours of top 6 clubs showing a little bit of interest in him as well. Currently, Leeds do seem to be the front runners in making a move for him. However, it does seem like he is pulling back from it a little bit. But then again, he's also in England. Is he a big tennis fan, or does he want to make that move happen? And speaking of a move that has pretty much guaranteed to be happening, Darko Gyabi obviously made his move, or has basically made his move over to Ellen Road as a make way for Calvin Phillips. And we were all sat there scratching our heads thinking, why did we not get McAtee? Why did we not get Romeo Lavia? Well, apparently, according to The Athletic, Leeds United actually turned down the chance to get Romeo Lavia to go for Darko Gyabi instead. Apparently, we were much more interested in Gyabi than we were in Lavia, and that's why we've actually gone for him. And it looks like Southampton could actually be moving in to secure Lavia's signature instead. A little bit interesting, because it did seem like we were potentially more interested in getting Lavia as an option. I know a lot of people were more interested in getting McAtee as an option, but it shows a little bit of an insight. Maybe they've scouted something and they've seen something that we haven't in this Darko Gyabi guy, and maybe he could turn out to be the real deal. We don't know yet. Obviously, he is still very young and things are likely to develop in his life and his career, but we don't know yet. Could he develop into the midfielder that Leeds United have been craving? Time will tell. But let me know what you guys think about all those moves down in the comment section down below. But for now, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Out of all my brothers and my sisters.